with Chad Townsend. They've been great, the halves partnership.
Stay back.
And the blonde bomber himself. Brandon Smith is ready. Cameron Munster supplies the kickoff. We'll go down towards the northern end here of Queensland Country Bank Stadium, and Cohen Hess in the starting side tonight. Ruben Cotter going back to the bench for the Cowboys. And a switch by Todd Payton in the hour before kickoff. Tom Gilbert will head to the Dolphins in 2023. He'll play it here for Robson. Comes across to Jason Taumalolo, who works it up to about 8 maybe metres there. His metres, though, have been huge in this run of 5 straight wins for the Cowboys. McLean, the former Storm forward, 5th season now with the Cowboys, and unsigned beyond the end of 2022. As Robson jumps out from dummy half. Drinkwater goes to that position, and from inside the 40, Chad Townsend with the first clearing kick of the night. It goes down to Nick Meaney. He was a regular in the fullback role for the Bulldogs in past seasons, 35 games in total in that fullback role, so no stranger to playing in the custodian's role here tonight, and we'll see how he fares in this reshuffled back line for the Storm.
Yeah, it makes sense putting Nick Meaney at the back. Tyron Wishart played there last week against the Panthers. He's moved back to the bench, but plenty of experience playing at the back. Former Newcastle and Bulldog player, Nick Meaney.
Kafusi at the halfway line here. Brandon Smith waiting at dummy half. Goes to that right-hand side with Marion Seve with the headband on. Working that right edge. They were tested last week defensively, weren't they, in that right side by the Panthers. An awful bounce here for Drinkwater. It sits there for Xavier Coates. The ball comes backwards eventually. Brandon Smith keeps it alive from Kafusi. Back to Grant. Hurries a kick. It ends up in the hands of Jeremiah Nanai. A scrambling effort by Melbourne, and the Cowboys come away with it.
Well, that was a clever piece of play down that short side from Harry Grant. He almost got his foot to the ball for a second kick and would have gone close to scoring a try. In the end, they doubled back and tried to get a second kick away, but it was shut down. And Grant down the short side, just chipping it over the top of the defence, and an awkward bounce. Gee, if he gets his toe to that, and Melbourne start with a 4-pointer through the new halfback.
Cowboys back to the halfway line as they try and steady the nerves off the back of that little scare. Here is Drinkwater, who had that awful bounce off the kick by Grant. Slow play the ball. Referee, I heard him say ball of milking there. Didn't appear to be the case. Didn't. Puts it in the air, going backward. Meaney makes the catch. And he'll play it here just inside the Melbourne Storm 10. It's such a big test for the Cowboys tonight. Earlier in the season, they came up against the Roosters in a similar scenario off the back of a couple of straight wins, and were beaten comfortably back in round 4, 28 points to 4 at this venue. And a big test right here against the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, their 5 wins have been the Tigers, Newcastle, Gold Coast and the Raiders. Their impressive win was in Darwin against the Parramatta Eels, who they completely shut out of that game 35-4. This is their biggest test so far.
As Bromwich, they get the Melbourne Storm at an opportune time, of course. No Jerome Hughes, no Ryan Pappenhausen again here tonight. Kick, a bit of a wobbly one, allowed to bounce there by Drinkwater. Munster struck it nicely, and Drinkwater thought the best action was to try and let it bounce. He's going to pay a price. It'll be a goal line dropout. Harry Grant pushing through ensures Drinkwater can't bring it back.
Well, that's the dangerous thing about letting the ball bounce. It just kicked on and ended up getting into the in-goal area. The chase from Seve and Harry Grant just dropped on him quickly. He could have got under it. There's no doubt he could have got there. A couple of quick steps towards the ball a bit earlier, and then it was certainly the bouncing ball favoured the Melbourne Storm, running back into the in-goal area.
Sign of nerves, perhaps, from Scott Drinkwater, who's been so good, taking over in the fullback role after the injury. And also Tabuai for Doe, who will work off the bench here again tonight for Todd Payton and the Cowboys. There's Josh King. Inside the 30, my goodness, they picked him up, both McLean and Hess there. They brought him down okay. It was scary for a moment. Munster runs towards Nanai, stops him one-on-one. What an impressive 19-year-old Jeremiah Nanai is. leads the try scoring for the Cowboys with 8 so far this season. Kamikamitha will play it here, back end of the set, inside the Cowboys 20. Grant sliding sideways, goes to Meany, bounces off the shoulder there of Holmes. They've got one more play. Brandon Smith gets the dummy half. Pass was an awkward one. I think Grant thought he was going to put a kick in from dummy half. Now the ball comes over the top. Olam here against Hiku. Gets a kick in off the legs of Hiku. Drinkwater hits the deck. And they'll hang on to it. Melbourne did well in the end after a mix-up there between Brandon Smith and Harry Grant. Felt to work it away from a corner of the field. Townsend. Took to play the ball that he got. Felt worked over by Melbourne, who have long been specialists in controlling the ruck and slowing things down. I'll do that again right here with Olam. Almost ends up riding Hiku. The patience of the referee tested this time, and Grant Atkins says, that's enough, boys. Penalty, Cowboys.
Well, no other option. There could have been a penalty to play before. Kyle Felt held down for a longer period than should have been allowed, and then Justin Olam all over the top there. Just tangling himself up. It's an easy out for the Cowboys.
On the line here. Start in, Josh. Hold!
Survived the pressure. The error, if you want to call it that, of Drinkwater allowed the ball to bounce. Forced to supply a goal line dropout. Ball back here, off the back of the kick for line to the halfway line as Hiku plays it. Townsend goes to Taumalolo. Dearden, Drinkwater bypasses Gilbert. Holmes comes out to Murray Taulagi, the hero of last week. What a game he had. Had a couple of tries and set up one of the more spectacular tries of the season. It was the magic round miracle. There's no miracle here, though. Holmes thinks there was a knock-on by Melbourne.
Well, he thinks the ball was knocked out by Felice Kafusi. Now, if it was intentional, well, they'll win the challenge. But if it was just contact made, incidental contact.
We're inside 40. Come in, guys. On the clock.
I don't know, there was a challenge. Did he?
Oh, I thought he was going to challenge, obviously.
I think he was trying to convince some teammates. Luckily,
they didn't buy it.
Heads in, let's go.
With good reason.
Just wait until
It's a simple lost ball in the tackle there with Kafusi.
Fuck off. Hold.
In contact with it, but certainly not stripping it away from Val Holmes. Xavier Coates, one of the many Queensland eligible outside backs in the Origin series coming, who's in form at the moment. That's an embarrassment of riches that Queensland had, Brandy, as Melbourne get a penalty here off the back of the scrum.
Yeah, they do. They do. And he penalised him, then said 6 again, and then said penalty. Changed his mind a couple of times there, the referee, as to what Melbourne should be awarded. Munster finding touch right on halfway.
On the line, guys. Hold for it. Wait. Hold. Go.
Sede from the tap. Comes into Tom Dearden. They'll play it here 40 metres out. Subdued crowd here, be it a sellout at Queensland Country Bank Stadium in this game. Almost 9 minutes gone, no score as yet. Melbourne trying to do something about that as Josh King made this number 13 jumper his own, gets spun around there, perhaps. Fortunate the Cowboys not to give away 6 more plays. Kamikamitha takes it inside the 20. They're pressured here, North Queensland. Brandon Smith, a little juggle as he made contact there with Cohen Hess. Last play, whistle now, and it will be Smith forced to go back.
I blew the whistle before you let it go.
Like Ruben Cotter, he's a lightweight front rower. Last tackle, Grant to kick towards the corner. Taulagi up against Coates' fingertips for both of them. Taulagi comes down with it, forced back in the in-goal area, and it will be a penalty against the Storm.
Yeah, brilliant take by Taulagi. They got some talent on the wings. Kyle Felt, who we've spoken about for the last 7 or 8 years, just the ability of Kyle Felt to do most things in the game. Murray Taulagi certainly up there with him after last week's pass. They can come up with something extraordinary, both these wingers. That man, Murray Taulagi, the younger one, what a talent he is.
Absolutely unbelievable still all these days later. See him produce a miraculous pass. Trying for Drinkwater to get things going last week. against the Tigers. As Taulagi plays it here, we'll go downstairs for the first time tonight to Brent Tate.
G'day Woz, g'day Brandy. Absolutely beautiful conditions up here in North Queensland. Currently 26 degrees, and how good is it to see a sold-out crowd up here at Queensland Country Bank. The fans are loving what the Cowboys have been able to do the last 5 weeks, but you can't write off this Melbourne Storm. They are a champion outfit. What a blockbuster tonight.
It's a beauty, followed by another one as well between the Roosters and the Panthers at the famous old Sydney Cricket Ground. McLean to play it, comes here to Townsend. He'll kick towards the corner. Hess chasing through, pressure on Munster. Hess taps it backwards. Drinkwater softens it towards the corner. Now there's some real pressure on Dean Aramia. And the Cowboys, incredibly, are going to get the ball back from a goal line dropout.
But you don't run in and interfere with those.
Well, the ball came flying off one of the players. The ball from Townsend went a long way short of the try line. Somehow it ricochets off Hess's up for the ball. It's a punch from Hess, and then it was towed through. Drinkwater actually got his boot to the ball, and short one, but cleaned up by Gilbert.
Here he is up against Sammy, goes straight past him. Gilbert scores! It's the Cowboys who grab those points tonight in one of the more unconventional fashions you'll ever see. A goal line dropout forced by a toe forward by Scott Drinkwater, which was spinning like a top, stayed in play, and then Melbourne goes short. Gilbert crashes his way through the defence, and North Queensland on top early here at home tonight.
Well, I have to go back 30 years. The last back rower I saw almost score a try, this one is a try, was Mark Geyer in the 91 grand final. Short dropout, Scotty Gale.
I thought you might remember that one.
Geyer picks it up, gets through and passes it to Royce Simmons. This time Gilbert didn't need anyone in support. Breaks through a couple of tacklers. Marion Seve, one of them. Coates in a long way and then shrugs away, beats Harry Green. So he's beat 3 and then 4, Nick Meaney. Across the try line goes Tom Gilbert. And you said, you know, an extraordinary way they came up with it. Not just the dropout, but the way they got the repeat set. The ball up from Townsend, the punch back from Cohen Hess. Drinkwater just socketed through into the corner. They get the line dropout and they come up with 4 points off the back of it.
Well, we see teams go short on dropouts quite regularly now. It was a bit of a thing for the Canterbury Bulldogs under the coaching of Des Hasler some seasons ago, but it's really caught on, it seems, in 2022. Lots of teams going short, and well, for one of the rare occasions I think so far this season, it hurts the Melbourne Storm by electing to go short.
Yeah, they weren't expecting that. And there was enough Melbourne Storm players there around Tom Gilbert as he caught the ball. And he had his first couple of steps were backwards after he took it. Coates came rushing in, and obviously Coates was the intended receiver. Short drop kick for Coates is a good play. He couldn't get to it on the full. He misses Gilbert, then Marion Seve misses, Harry Grant misses, and Nick Meaney gets there as he's going across the line. Great start in front of this big crowd for the Cowboys.
Holmes from the sideline. It's a nice strike. Boy, there's some good kickers in the NRL this season. Holmes is up there with them. A terrific one off the grab and then the smash from Tom Gilbert to force his way over. You can see there Cameron Munster saying, going short out this direction. Tried to fake them with a look out to the other sideline, but Gilbert makes the catch. Coates was there. He was claiming he didn't get a fair crack at the ball, but the officials disagreed, and Gilbert just storms his way in. A good signing and a big signing next season for Wayne Bennett, the Dolphins.
Yeah, he's been terrific. Gilbert, their back rowers, their young back rowers. Gilbert, Nanai, Gillam Lukey off the bench.
They've got a surplus of talent in back rowers, there's no doubt about that. More coming next year with Luciano Leilua moving from the Tigers to North Queensland as well. Taulagi here just outside the 20. We've had 13 minutes of action on forward pass.
See, that's unforgivable. Off the back of points, Robson and Jeremiah Nanai just get their timing wrong. He started to move too quick, Nanai. Got a bit too keen.
Box on, guys, 15 seconds.
That's a tough one, isn't it? Like,
Backs, Reese. Reese, you've got to stay this time.
You could call that one
Come
flat.
in, stay here.
Cameron Smith made a career out of doing exactly what we just saw.
Fuck off.
He's the master of the flat pass from dummy half.
Jordan, stay there.
Storm forwards,
Stay there. You're right in the squad.
pouring onto it for all those seasons.
Hold.
So Melbourne get a chance to hit
Hold,
straight
right.
back off the back of the scrum. Brandon Smith does a little dipsy doodle and comes back out to this left-hand side. Munster showing it. And there by Robson and company, including Peter Hiku from Smith. There's to Kenny Bromwich. He'll be joining Tom Gilbert at the Dolphins next season, along with brother Jesse. Here is King off the right foot, stepping into the meat of this Cowboys defensive line. More pressure on them. Well, good first time around to begin the game. Kamakamita, nothing doing there. Melbourne fairly conservative so far in this set. Keeping it tight now. A bit of width for Munster. Goes to Grant. From Meany. Kafusi under pressure there. Taulagi jumping in. Just jams him very effectively at that. And Melbourne have one more play, 15 out. It's Munster who kicks it back towards the corner. Coates going up, makes the catch. They swamp him, dumps it out the back. Drinkwater is there. And the Cowboys will come up with it after a knock on the last was the call eventually by the referee.
Well, again, you can understand the play. Munster looking for Xavier Coates, and he's a terrific leaper. Good tackle there, Brandon Smith underneath, but well read by Scott Drinkwater to clean it up and not allow that pass, that push pass from Coates to pick up a Melbourne Storm player.
We spoke earlier in the game about their improved defence, how much better they were. More than 3 converted tries better, the Cowboys, this season. There's a problem, though, for Kyle Felt at the moment. Their defence has been terrific. The first few chances Melbourne have had inside the red zone. This is a major worry. Look again.
What are we looking at
here? Josh,
that left leg just buckled underneath the weight of the defenders.
Wow. Hard to believe you can come away with everything intact. In a situation like that, he's hobbling away and very quickly. No surprise, the hammer. Change card in hand. Kyle Felt. Slow limp from the field. And also Tabuai Fado, who's been getting these cameo roles at the back end of games, will get a lot of game time tonight by the looks of things.
Yeah, good man to have on the bench when you've got an outside back going down. It can sometimes really hurt a side that doesn't carry a utility on the bench. But not the case with the Cowboys. Tabuai Fado on the field now.
Brent Tate, the old Cowboy himself, will chase some news from the medical staff of North Queensland as to the initial thought is as far as Kyle Felt. He goes straight up the tunnel. That's not a great sign either. Here is Hiku. Brings it away in the middle of the field. It's up there by Kafusi, and again, boy, they're good at this. Brandon Smith ends up riding him like he's a rented mule and gives away another penalty.
Well, they're easy out. Well, they'll be a long way down the field now because they'd made good meters anyway. The back of a run from Nanai, and Townsend's touch finder should have them well inside Melbourne territory.
You've got to get off the other way, mate.
Melbourne are good at doing this. They'll test the referee's patience early just to see where the boundaries lie in regards to slowness of play the balls, and then they'll keep testing him. We'll wait and see if Grant Atkins holds his nerve and keeps on penalising if Melbourne players find themselves tangled up, as Smith and company have done early in this game. So it's McLean to play it. A slowish one there. Drinkwater goes out the back. Ball on the deck. Taulagi coming back. Up there before Coates managed to pounce on it.
Well, his speed got him on the outside of those Melbourne Storm defenders. If the pass finds its mark there, it's a 2-on-1. That's how dangerous Scott Drinkwater can be.
Gilbert will play it here. Robson finds Townsend, looking for options. Set play. Dearden to the line, taking them on. And past Kenny Bromwich. Can't beat Munster or Justin Olam, though. They've got one more play here, 5 away. Hiku goes deep, Townsend to kick across. No chance for Nanai, it's towards Taulagi. Tap backwards, play on, cleaned up by Taulagi. It's going to be 6 more plays here for the Cowboys. Now the crowd finds its voice. Robson, what a chance this is. Drinkwater goes over the top. Taulagi to the corner. Looks like he has some blood flowing from a cut there on the forehead. He's okay. Here is Townsend. Clean. Just searching. Wants a run at Tabuai-Fidow. Looms up late. Boy, if someone was there earlier. McLean surely gives them a good ball. Tabuai-Fidow trying to spin down the tackle of Iramia. It'll be 6 again. Melbourne inside the 10, inside their own 20. So play on is the call here. New set of 6. Townsend showing it. He finds Holmes. Steps back on the inside of Grant. What pressure there is here on Melbourne. They're throwing plenty at them. And Holmes will play it for Robson. Goes back to Drinkwater, out the back to Townsend. Smith was jamming. Here's Nanai, steps back into the tackle. Chance to put it through the hands again. Instead, Hiku here brings it back. Pops the ball to Townsend. Drinkwater sees a space. Grabbed there by Grant and also Seve. Dearden gives it to Robson. The Cowboys are in again. What an opening to this game. Creating chances and converting them to make it 10 points to 0.
Yeah, 2-set restart certainly hurt the Melbourne Storm there, and it was a quick play the ball from Drinkwater that allowed Robson to jump out of dummy half. Craig Bellamy filthy with his team. And I thought Nanai had a chance out on the right side. He ended up stepping back into the Melbourne defence, but the offload from Petahiku. He spots an opening. Drinkwater almost gets through. The tackle affected Dearden in a dummy half. Marion Seve did a good job to stop Scott Drinkwater, but the speed of the play the ball just absolutely killed the Melbourne Storm. They couldn't close the holes close to the play the ball.
And Robson could have stayed out of that play and let it come back to Chad Townsend on the last, but he saw there was a chance off the quick play the ball that was coming a metre out from the line, so raced in there close to the play the ball and poured through the hole that he saw. And in the build-up to this game, Todd Payton said, while Damien Cook is the New South Wales Origin incumbent and will be the hooker potentially for game 1, you would think, but he said Reece Robson is playing such good football at the moment. Should Cook have an issue, he's more than up to the task of playing against Queensland in Origin this year.
Well, he knows his players better than anyone, Todd Payton, and he's in good form, Reece Robson, as are a number of Cowboys. You go through the Cowboys side and some of them are playing their best football. Dearden's been outstanding after a period at the Broncos and then his early time at the Cowboys, which was a losing period for Dearden. He's showing that he was a much better footballer than that. Valentine Holmes has been great in the centres. Drinkwater at fullback. Jordan McLean's playing his best football for the Cowboys, and this is his 5th year there. And we've already spoken about the exciting young back rowers they have. It's a team full of potential.
Beside the uprights, those Cowboys fans could barely pinch themselves. After 12 straight losses against the Melbourne Storm, they lead them 12 points to 0, Brent Tate.
Oh, they absolutely do. That man, Reece Robson, he's been a real unsung hero in this Cowboys team, going about his business the last few weeks. Great defender. He's been very solid in attack. The Cowboys have come here with a plan today to really stretch this Melbourne defence. They're playing from sideline to sideline, plenty of depth, plenty of width. Melbourne at the moment just can't handle them. And guys, we've got an injury report on Kyle Felt. He's got a high-grade MCL. He won't return tonight, so that's really unfortunate news for him.
And that is bad news. It does turn out to be a grade 3 medial ligament injury. It's a stint on the sideline, somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks, you'd imagine, in that vicinity.
He's 10. Hold, go 1, 2.
Holmes to play it here. It comes to Gilbert. Work it forward here, 10 short of the halfway line. We saw Craig Bellamy's reaction off the back of the try. As Taumalolo finds Townsend, here's Nanai, this teenager who just keeps scoring tries, whether they're in the air or just running onto crash balls close to the line. He can do it all. Taulagi. Brandon Smith comes out to try and wrap him up, then thinks about pinching the ball from him, but King is in there involved in the tackle as well. Taulagi runs another 15 metres. His metres after contact are off the charts. He's the best in the NRL by a long stretch in that category. Problem there for a Storm defender, Jesse Bromwich, as Townsend puts a kick in. Eremia coming forward did very well. No contest, no chaser there from the Cowboys making a contest of it. Here is Jesse Bromwich, who's got a nasty gash around the right eye by the looks of things.
Yeah, it didn't look good, did it? A lot of trouble. He's coming straight from the field. Grant out of dummy half, picking up Marion Seve. Nice take at the other end from Dean Eremia. It was something the Storm needed. They needed to stop the momentum and get a bit of possession, even though it is out of their own end.
Meany offload here to Kafusi, but nothing happening there. Is Bromwich going up the tunnel? So the Cowboys without Kyle Felt, Melbourne for the moment without Jesse Bromwich. Munster with the bomb. Awkward one here, knocked on by Taulagi. He never looked comfortable. With that spiralling ball ebbing away from him as it came down.
Scrum.
Knocks it on and gives Melbourne a chance just to try and steady the ship.
Yeah, that's a couple of errors that they've made. You don't want to offer Melbourne too many chances through mistakes of your own. Reece Robson and Nanai got the pass wrong after the first try, and here's the just cops the head of Kamikamitha. And here's the drop ball from, it's a tough one, spiralling kick from Cameron Munster.
Fuck off. Hold. Hold.
Back of the scrum. It is Harry Grant showing it to this left-hand side, who will play it 10 metres out on the Cowboys line. Can they hit back? Smith to Bromwich, 2-on-2 down the short side. They did well in the end to try and hurt him towards the corner post. Nanai was there, visions of taking him out of play. Eremia brings it back away from that sideline. Reuben Cotter is on deck now. Brandon Smith there at dummy half. Here's Munster. Goes out the back. Harry Grant did well on an awkward pass. Seems to have any chance of linking up on his right-hand side there with Josh King, who was running a line for him. So he takes the tackle. They've got two remaining in this set. They bypass Kamikamitha. It comes to Trent Liero, who tackled there with Reuben Cotter. His legs were in the air. No trouble, they say. Play on, Munster. He goes to Grant. Sliding. Meany. His speed causing an issue. He passes to Xavier Coates, who was straddling the sideline.
Yeah, he's got an exceptional pace, Nick Meany, and I thought he was through there. It was a desperate lunge, and the Cowboy defender was able to grab his jersey. Was it Valentine Holmes? Yes, just got him by the jersey before he could pass the ball. He just ran Xavier Coates out of room.
The Cowboys hang on again inside their own 20 against this Melbourne Storm attacking machine, admittedly again without Jerome Hughes and Ryan Pappenhausen tonight. Let's go back downstairs to you, Brent Tate.
Yeah, we just saw Reuben Cotter come off the bench. He's been sick all week, so they've decided to take him, take the sting off having him out there at the start and bring him on. He's been in great form for the Cowboys the last few weeks, pressing for Origin selection as he takes a hit up here right now.
Try they'll be talking about for a long, long time last week against the Tigers. Lovely hole and let the rest off the way, some 65 metres. It'll be 165 metres by the end of his career. Terrific try to blue past Stafford Toa. Tigers fullback up there at Magic Round. He was magic for the Cowboys in many ways. Oh, now Taumalolo just feeling a right knee.
I just see him wince as he hit the ground. I didn't notice anything while he was upright. With legs as big as Taumalolo, it's very hard to get it. He just had that player underneath Brandon Smith going one way and the defenders over the top coming the other. It's that right knee.
Very much a garden variety rugby league tackle, wasn't it? Just see maybe a little bit of flexing on the inside. Again, that medial ligament side of the inside of the knee for Jason Taulagi.
Just the weight below his knee going one way and the weight over the top going the other way. Just twisted that knee.
Looks like he's okay. The Cowboys, if you've just joined us, having already lost Kyle Felt to a serious medial ligament injury.
Trent!
8 or so minutes of game time ago.
Time on. Last!
Taulagi plays it. Last play here, Drinkwater doing the kicking. And surprise, a beautiful spiralling torpedo down to Nick Meaney, who makes a good catch. He'll bring it out here to the edge of the 20, where he's nabbed by Reuben Cotter. He's become a massive cult hero in these parts. Favourite who's rarely seen here in Townsville. Set there by Gilbert on Justin Olam. Grant to dummy half, finds Xavier Coates, and here's Reuben Cotter again. Just to emphasise the point, listen to this crowd. They love him. Grant from dummy half again, jumps out. In a more familiar role, playing his first game as a halfback here tonight in the NRL. Kamikamitha. With a roll on there in the last few plays for the Storm. They've got one more. Smith finds Munster. The chip over the top. Coates again up against Drinkwater. Coates didn't get there, didn't get a clean crack at it at any rate, and Drinkwater did well.
Well, he just lost sight of the ball. He had to get around Murray Taulagi, and that was just enough for him to take his eyes off the ball and make it very hard to get them back on it. Drinkwater was all over it as Robson dummies, and Coates just lost sight of the ball at the death.
Now a shift from the Cowboys to work it away from their own end. Hiku to the outside there of Olam. Gets the ball away though to the hammer. And he brings it back midfield, and Tabuai Fado will play it there. 4 tackles gone in this set. Cowboys 12, Melbourne 0. The score is correct. The form has been terrific, and they're backing it up here again tonight. Now Townsend under pressure, so he gets past the advancing Brandon Smith. Puts a kick in down to Nick Meaney. They'll find Eremia. As they want this play leaky out there now for Jason Taulagi, so they do make that switch. Then about the time that Taulagi would get a breather. He's been playing extended minutes in 2022 by comparison to last season, especially. Gets a breather now. Let us check out that knee a bit further, while Lukey is a very handy replacement. An agile type he is, just 21 years of age. King works it up towards the halfway line. Nanai is there. Robson around the legs. Last play, there is Taulagi. Looks to be okay with that knee. Munster's kick. Awkward one again here, swivelling around as it comes down to Scott Drinkwater. Allow him to bring it back beyond the 20. And they're doing it nicely at the moment. And we'll take him up the tunnel just for a further investigation as to the nature of that problem with the knee. Play on here. No, knock on is the call. Hiku came from the right-hand side of the field to the left-hand side, and he's blowing up deluxe.
Well, just as he thought he got on the outside of the Melbourne defender, and it was Kafusi. Tried to pass the ball, but his arms were wrapped up. So it was almost a flick of the wrist to try and get it out there to Murray Taulagi.
Is he unhappy that they didn't come back underneath him, perhaps? Sure, he was. Seemed to be a situation where it was mostly his fault.
Scott.
He was tackled there, so it gives Melbourne another bonus set.
Hold the weight.
Give themselves some defensive work to do in this first half, but they've been good to this point. Have the Cowboys. Meaney here. Bypasses Cotter. Grabbed by Griffin Neame, who's also out there now. And another switch for Todd Payton in that middle third rotation. Smith from dummy half. Finds Kamikamitha. Punch in some of these Melbourne Storm runs here tonight. A bit below par in their carries. Munster gives it to Kenny Bromwich. Well handled this time around by Cotter and also Townsend. Midway through the set, Smith comes flat. King, it came off Trent Loiero, back to Josh King. He played at it, so it's offside. And look at the reaction from these North Queensland Cowboys.
Well, 3 times they've made mistakes inside their own territory, and they've given Melbourne bonus sets through it. They've been able to defend 2, and now 3 as King crashed into Reece Robson, tried to turn the ball back to Liero. The defence was just too strong. Drove him backwards, which drove him into Liero. The ball bounced around between the 2 of those, and the Cowboys again free passage out of their own end via a mistake or a penalty.
I'm surprised if Craig Bellamy during the lead-up to this game was adamant that his forwards had to do a much better job this week than they did last week against the Panthers. No forward for Melbourne, ran for 100 metres last week. And we'll wait and see how they end up tonight by full time, but so far, a lot of impact. Some of the carries from the Melbourne Storm forwards, I think it's fair to say. Cowboys have it here at their own 40. Townsend. First man option, Nanai a mix-up there. Maybe he wasn't ready for it. The teenager turns it over, and Owen has it for Melbourne. So here they go again. See what they can offer this time around. Liero it is. Quick play the ball, good carry there. Nanai the legs tackle, so Smith jumps out. Only the one marker in Griffin Neem, and he was barely at marker. Bromwich. Kenny it is. Will show, grabbed by Neem. Just outside the 10. 3 plays gone. Munster is flat on the open side. Comes back to the middle for Liero. Stepping through a tackle. Grabbed eventually, ripped out by the Cowboys. It'll be a penalty. And verging on the edge of being a professional foul.
It's not professional foul.
It was close though.
Very close.
Very close.
Yes. Yeah, quick play the ball might have been interesting. So yeah, it's not your classic professional foul in terms of sin bin, but when you think about it, how close he was to the try line, the speed he was getting up to play the ball.
And with Brandon Smith, the specialist from dummy half, he liked his chances, or Harry Grant jumping in and doing something there. Munster with a new set. Here's Grant inside for Kaufusi. They got them eventually. All the pressure had to tell the Cowboys at some point, and Melbourne have their first points. It took some getting there, but a nicely worked play on the right-hand side and a good whole run from Felice Kaufusi.
Yeah, well, in the end, if you just keep offering Melbourne chances, as the Cowboys have done, they will come up eventually. They've been hurt. The fact that they've got no Pappenhausen, no Jerome Hughes, that's a lot of attacking options that the Storm rely on. Harry Grant just turning Felice Kaufusi back on the inside. The defenders won't be happy with their efforts. Tom Dearden going crossways. It was Elam Lukey, one of the defenders, and then someone from the inside, a Cowboy flying across to try and lend a hand. Just couldn't get there quick enough. But the opportunities that the Cowboys have given the Melbourne Storm, eventually they will come up with points, which is what's happened. 12-4 kick to come.
McDonald is out there now for the Melbourne Storm, as well as Felice Kaufusi. It's his team on the board. 17 plays inside the Cowboys' 20 before they were able to get across the line. That's a long time for Melbourne to go without a try inside the red zone. They're by far the better of that particular stat.
Well, territory-wise, Melbourne have had 30% more ball attacking the Cowboys line than what the Cowboys have. So despite a couple of really important attacking options not there, they're still good enough to come up with points if you keep giving them chances.
He finds the black dots. It's 12 points to 6 here in Townsville. Downstairs to you, Brent.
Yeah, when you find yourself 12 points behind, you look to your experience, and that man there, sometimes the simple plays are the best. Just a nice, hard, direct inside ball there to Kaufusi to get his team back in this contest. The news gets better for the Storm as well. Jesse Bromwich is past his HIA, so that's great news. He'll be back shortly.
Well, Tom Gilbert, the inside defender, coming across to try and help out Lukey, who was wrong-footed. He just slipped a little bit as Kaufusi came back on the inside. Made it very hard for him to make the tackle, but Kaufusi running straight through Tom Gilbert.
Just on 6.5 remaining. Townsville in this first half. Don't forget, beyond this tonight, it's the Roosters up against the Panthers. A beauty coming from the Sydney Cricket Ground. Roosters win last week against the Eels up there in Magic Round. Of course, the Panthers did what they did to this team, the Melbourne Storm, as Munster puts it back on the inside for Kenny Bromwich. We're close to see every game every week without ads during play is right here on Fox League, as McDonald will play it just short of the halfway line. The arrow spinning there, man-handled. Griffin Neame, good contact there. Robson lending his weight to the tackle. Munster again, end over end this time. Drinkwater coming across. This one, he allows the bounce, and it does go beyond the dead ball line, so they'll bring it back out to their own 20 for a 7-tackle set.
Just wait for the kick.
Strike that as he would like, Cameron Munster. That reaction told you all you needed to know. He has been doing without Jerome Hughes there most of the kicking here tonight. There's Nanai, rather Taulagi, who does a fair impression of Jeremiah Nanai. Facially very similar, aren't they? I just realised.
Very close.
There is rather Hiku to play. Let's go downstairs to you, Brent Tate. News on Jason Taumalolo.
Yeah, we saw him walk up the tunnel there before. It's not great news. He won't return tonight. He's got a right knee injury. So bad news for the Cowboys, and big news in the rugby league world that he won't return tonight.
I think it was a classic medial ligament injury, I would think.
Let's hope it's no more than that. As they go to the line, Dearden stumbling in the tackle there of Seve, who comes again. Play it there, just outside the 40. A couple of plays remaining, so 2 key outs now here with just 15 available for the remainder of the game for the Cowboys. Kyle Felton, his night is done with a knee injury. Likewise, Jason Taumalolo. Holmes, a kick over the top. Coming forward, allowed to bounce by the Melbourne Storm. Play on here, no.
Melbourne, then Cowboys.
Knock on by Melbourne first, then the Cowboys.
Yeah, Griffin Neame just couldn't pick the ball up after the Melbourne Storm seemingly knocked it on, but they're going to challenge this.
Adam, got a captain's challenge from Melbourne. Got a double knock-on. The original knock-on we have ruled is against Melbourne. Following that, we've got a knock-on against the Cowboys.
They shifted the ball down that short side. Went from Townsend to Drinkwater. Val Holmes had the ball, put the kick up. Hard to see exactly who got a hand on it first. Well, the only player in front of Holmes is Gilbert, but
Cowboys kick chase is onside.
Ruben Cotter's there. King.
The ball is knocked backwards by Josh King at this point.
Yeah, if he touched it, it just went straight through his hands and backwards. And here's the knock-on from Griffin Neame. Or is it? Does he get a hand to it? It's hard to see. His hand disappears behind. Oh, he doesn't touch it. Oh, there it goes. Just
an index finger.
Just gets it at the death. Right. Not
then
the
there is
first
a
time.
knock-on off Griffith Neame.
If he cuts his fingernails, he doesn't touch it. That's how slim a touch it was.
Yeah, that's a good challenge.
It's going to be your ball for a scrum.
That's a good challenge from the Melbourne Storm.
20 out. So I got
to
backwards
turn
off
the ball
Melbourne.
over there.
And then knock on Cowboys, scrum to you.
After getting
50,
themselves
clock
back
on.
in the game at 12-6.
No, it wasn't, mate. It was clear in the process.
It's been some time since the Cowboys have been down this end of the field with an attacking set.
Jesse Bromwich is back, as Brent Tate told us. He's passed his HIA. Will nick there on that corner of the right eye as well, but he's okay.
Okay, head in.
The big news is for the Cowboys, no
Clock down,
Jason
head
Taumalolo.
down,
For the
please.
remainder of this one
Clock
against
off.
Melbourne, and no Kyle Felt either.
Hold him, boys. I'll call it. Hold. Break.
Off the back of the scrum, it's Melbourne to take it forward. Olam play it here just inside the 30. Smith to Kenny Bromwich. Nothing happened there. Good tackle by Ruben Cotter. Some applause from the crowd once again. They love him. Munster. Here is Harry Grant, knocked down by Valentine Holmes. If he comes back to Melbourne, it will be play on instead. It's Robson who ends up with the ball. And Melbourne will get another chance from a scrum here at their own 30.
But the pressure was good there from Val Holmes. Realised what was happening. Munster drifting across the field. Throws it out to Harry Grant. Holmes a long way in. Left themselves vulnerable out on the outside. He had to make it, and he did. Even though he made contact with the ball.
Hold, Chad. Hold. Break.
Grant feeding the scrum. Smith for position there. His right-hand side. Said they will play it. So 2.5 minutes remaining. So if the Cowboys can defend this set, I imagine they could get to half-time with a 6-point lead at a minimum. Smith for Liera. They have to defend this set first. Melbourne working it down the field here, scheming. You saw Smith there talking to Harry Grant, maybe about a play to come, 1 or 2 plays time. Looking to his right-hand side now. They go that direction. Liera again getting a number of touches of the ball since coming off the bench. Midway through this first half. Quick play the ball as well. Last here, Smith with rubber. Pressure on Hiku. He looked. It's going to hurt the Cowboys. No! Kenny Bromwich stopped there, but Melbourne gets 6 more plays. It looked like the Storm were going to score there when there was a mix-up between Hiku in particular and also Taulagi Fido playing outside him. The Storm, they can end the first half. Deep on the attack here, all on the flat pass. More than flat, it was forward is the call. What a blown chance by Melbourne.
They still had the whole set left. The Melbourne Storm making an error out of a dummy half. The flat ball just tipped over the other way. A great recovery down in the corner off the kick here from Brandon Smith. Saw Hiku miss it. Taulagi Fido did also, and then Hiku was very quick to his feet, because when Kenny Bromwich picked that up, it looked like he only had Drinkwater to beat. That was going to be a hard stop for Drinkwater, but Hiku did recover well and quickly.
And now the Melbourne Storm take too long to pack the scrum. And with a kick for line here, Townsend will try and bite off as much as he can. We'll wait and see if the Cowboys can make something of this with maybe 3 or 4 plays before the break.
Well, the Melbourne Storm butchered it with the forward pass. They still had 4 tackles left in that set. They went close to scoring through Bromwich and could have levelled things up at the break.
Boy, they're good, Melbourne. You see Munster there working over Peter Hiku to slow things down. How that wasn't a set restart, I'll never know. Dearden for Drinkwater. Here is Halen Lukey, who takes it towards the halfway line. We have time for one more play here. Drinkwater, little short side shot. Dearden steps away from Kafusi. They'll wrap him up, and that'll do us for the opening half. An entertaining first 40, and it's 2 tries to 1 at the break. North Queensland 12 lead the Melbourne Storm 6. Let's hope that wasn't an omen from Cameron Munster as he came back onto the field.
Of course, the Cowboys will also have the challenge of being down to 15 men with Cole Felt and Jason Taumalolo off the match.
2 big outs, 2 knee injuries from the first half. It's Harry Grant who makes the catch off the kickoff, and Jesse Bromwich, who disappeared for an HIA during the first half. A bit of a cut to the right eye as well, playing it here just inside the 20. Liera, so many touches from him coming off the bench in the first half, running for the best part of 70 metres. Smith comes out of his right-hand side. Alec McDonald, who was so impressive during the pre-season, earned himself a place in the 17 on a regular basis. As Kafusi brings it back to the halfway line. Smith jumps out from dummy half. Not much line speed there from the Cowboys, and a good opening set here from Melbourne. Much more intent in some of these carries. Munster puts it in the air. Drinkwater kick to bounce in the first half, almost paid a price for it, but they held on eventually. It was a good catch there this time around. It was a pristine playing surface to begin with. Chops up pretty noticeably during the course of the game. It's a bowling green to begin the game, but we get to full time. Wear and tear there as Taulagi Fido, who's out there for Kyle Felt, playing on that right wing.
if they can get in position, and it's something that they threw up in the first half, and that's the cross kick to Xavier Coates. You would think that Coates could win something in the air as Drinkwater runs a long way before he's tackled.
Very reactive there on that left-hand side of the Melbourne defensive line, backing away, waiting for a kick almost, and Drinkwater went a long way. Here's a good catch made by Nick Meaney, filling in tonight for Ryan Pappenhausen after Tyron Wishart had that role last week up there in Magic Round against the Panthers. Meaney has done very nicely so far. Xavier Coates scoring tries for fun. Not that long ago on the right wing for the Melbourne Storm, as they were putting teams to the sword. In particular, of course, the Anzac Day evening riot down there. They put on 70 against the Warriors. Smith ducking out from dummy half. Could have had his hands full there with a reaction in the tackle from Brandon Smith, but he's okay. Munster kicks towards the corner with a touch there from Hiku. Tabuai Fido, a fumble backwards. And two big sets to open up this half. No doubt the words of Craig Bellamy ringing in their ears as they retook the field here for the second half. Well, Hiku takes a chance, gives it off to Taulagi. He brings it back to almost the 20 for the Cowboys.
Yeah, it gets them out of trouble, doesn't it? With that pass from Petty Hiku, who then jumps out of dummy half and runs 12 metres before he's shut down by McDonald. But the standout feature of the two sets from the Storm so far has been the running of Brandon Smith. Got them on the front foot and in good field position.
Robson trying to follow suit here, grabbed by Liero from marker. The player quickly enough though, Townsend, no pressure on him, so a second look before he puts it up. Standing underneath it, Dean Aramia is there and puts it down. Here's Neem, he goes to Robson. He almost passed it to the referee. He held on to it though. The Cowboys 5 metres out. Mistake by the Melbourne winger, they go wide. Tabuai Fido looking for the space. Stopped there by Liero and also Olam. Set restart again. Melbourne offside on their own line as it goes through the hands of Cotter and Dearden. Hiku, no look pass. It sits up here for Taulagi. More magic! It's magic round again! Taulagi spectacular!
That is brilliant, isn't it? From Murray Taulagi after the error from Dean Aramia on the other side of the field. Ball comes up, had it, just didn't pull it in. Griffin Neem picks it up, throws it to Reece Robson. You're right, he almost passed it to the referee, Grant Atkins. They then shifted after Tabuai Fido went awfully close. The pass from Petty Hiku, it's a catch and throw. He didn't know who was going to take it, but then just the little shuffle there from Murray Taulagi gave him enough space to launch himself at the in-goal area. Brandon Smith it was coming across in cover defence. Just watch it. Little stop and start, bang, bang. And here he goes as he's shoved by... That's brilliant, isn't it? As he's shoved by Brandon Smith, he was already mid-air by that time. Just gave him enough room there.
Honestly, he's part flying fox or a sugar glider or something.
Well, the pass last week against the Tigers, he was 2.5 metres over the sideline and mid-air when he threw that pass. That time, he just got himself up in the air, and that was enough to beat Brandon Smith. And, you know, Kyle felt disappointingly he's out of the game, but he's shown over the last 8 or 9 years just how talented he is. And now they've got a young man down the left flank that can do things just as well and pull off the extraordinary.
Just seems to hang there in mid-air forever. Last week, a spectacular try against the Tigers. And again here tonight. Now Holmes up against the sideline. Started the artificial turf, hit the natural turf. Trying to make this a 2 converted try lead. Yeah, it's well struck. And it's arrow straight as well. Hitting them like he's playing in the USPGA Championship at Southern Hills in Oklahoma. We'll see more action tonight, live, of course, on Fox Sports Channel 503. Loving the golf this weekend. Loving what the Cowboys are doing in 2022, Brent Tate.
Yeah, absolutely. And that man who threw the ball, Peter Hiku, we saw him have 2 touches in the set beforehand and then put that on an absolute platter for Murray Taulagi. He's been a great buy for the Cowboys. He's just giving them some stability in this back line. And that man, Murray Taulagi, well, his name will be right in the frame for Origin selection. Queensland have got some embarrassment of riches on the wing with Coates, Cobbo. And you can certainly throw his name in the mix. He'd have to be right amongst it.
Oreos, gee, Queensland have got just so many to pick from, Tate. Did you have was it a goose step like that? That's pretty clever from Taulagi.
A bit of a smile emerged on his face as he realised he had them done. Put the goose step in just to give himself an extra half a yard as they came across in cover.
And the more times you watch the replay, the better the pass got from Hiku. It was Marion Seve just flying in to stop him and just had time to fling it out there and hope one of the outside men picked it up.
It's like he's in one of those Mission Impossible movies. He's Tom Cruise hanging by wires as he dismantles the bomb. Just hangs there forever. It's incredible. Griffin Neem, did he lose that ball there?
I thought he did.
Might have been missed by the officials. Taulagi knew that something had happened and the ball had come free. He was saying it was ripped out by Melbourne. Now Storm, boy, a mix-up between Manning and Eremia. There's a job here for Eremia to bring it back. He won't make it. Another big play by the Cowboys. Eremia is under siege and the Cowboys a chance here to blow this open.
Well, it was the Cowboys in the opening 20 minutes of the game that made the statement. They scored tries in the 12th and the 19th minute, and now to start the second half, it is the North Queenslanders again. Well, what was going on there? What was happening between the fullback and the winger? Eremia came up with a mistake off the last kick, and he was never going to get into the field of play with the chase from the Cowboys, led by Val Holmes.
Just game number 13 in the NRL for Dean Eremia over a few seasons now, and a rookie, 20 years of age. A couple of perhaps expensive mental errors in the last 5 minutes of this one. It was his catch. You saw how close the ball was when it hit the turf to him. Meany was saying, you've got to get that, mate. Instead, here's the Cowboys. Gilbert taking it forward. Wishart is out there now, so a change made by Craig Bellamy. Robson out of dummy half. Nanai to reach out. One-on-one with Justin Olam. And from close range, the Cowboys are in again. They are taking their chances gladly with both hands and scoring points at will.
Yeah, what a gap they've put on the Melbourne Storm now. Out of dummy half, they look left and then come back right. Reece Robson, clever play from the dummy half, and the footwork from Jeremiah Nanai, just too much for Justin Olam to handle that close to the try line. It was a legs tackle. Nanai's a big man. Once he got over the top, once he won that battle physically, well, there was no stopping him. Jeremiah comes in to try and shut it down. Too late, though. And what a start to the second half by the Cowboys.
2 errors by Dean Eremia. Allows the second one to bounce. Gets caught in goal. Off the back of that, the Cowboys come down. They isolate Justin Olam. One with Nanai, and Nanai from that range just too strong. And almost a resigned look there. No pacing. No chairs being
Look at resignation.
Just about from Craig Bellamy, and something you rarely see. I think we might have seen it a couple of times last week against the Panthers, in fact, at Suncorp Stadium. But here we are, still half an hour remaining. Sure, it's going to be a big scoreline here. They're going to be 18 points down if Holmes converts this. But rarely do you see Melbourne almost saying, we just have to wait until Pappenhausen and Hughes come back on deck.
Well, we're only 10 minutes into the second half, and they've laid on 2 tries.
Blinding start for the Cowboys in this second half. Melbourne pay for Melbourne-like mistakes. Holmes kicking them beautifully again here tonight. Their completion rate in the first half is well down on where they have been in recent times, the Cowboys, but didn't stop them from leading 12-6 Now it's Melbourne turning the ball over, giving the Cowboys chances. Holmes starts at the right hand upright. It fades back, maybe a half-metre draw at best. They're piling on the points. 9.5 gone in this second half. They've added 2 converted tries. It's 24 points to 6, Brandy.
Yeah, and I guess you think of the Melbourne Storm, and they have been that dominant for that long. It doesn't matter who's missing, players come in and they still get the job done. You talk about the errors from the Cowboys in the first half. They haven't made those sort of errors throughout the season. That has been one thing about their game control. I think it says more about the Melbourne Storm than what it does about the Cowboys.
They go short with the restart, angled out towards the sideline, hoping to catch out Val Holmes. He steps past Kamikamitha, and just like that, the Cowboys are almost back to begin their set at their own 40-metre line. Don't forget, beyond full time tonight in this one, we'll take you to the Sydney Cricket Ground. The Roosters up against the Panthers. Another all top 4 battle as they were before the round began. Doubleheader here on Super Saturday. 1v4, 2v3.
They made 8 errors in the first half, the Cowboys, and 5 or 6 of them were inside their own half. They offered Melbourne plenty of chances.
Their defence, though, is unrecognisable from where it was in 2021. It's helped them make their way towards the top of the ladder. With a win here tonight, they will join the Melbourne Storm at 8-3.
That's a set restart on play 4. They'll be doing well to hold the Cowboys out for their 3rd try of the second half here.
Wishart out there in the 1 jersey coming off the bench.
6 again.
Middle third, another set restart. Melbourne just keep giving away extra sets of 6 through either penalties or set restarts for laying in the tackle. Neem up against Munster.
Well, if they give another one away very quickly here, someone will be in the bin.
Here's Hickett from dummy half. Townsend goes out the back to Gilbert. Tackled there by Kafusi. Certainly first few plays off the latest of the set restarts by the Cowboys. Townsend to the left-hand side. Drinkwater! They came up too quickly. Marion Seve left a huge hole back on the inside, and Drinkwater pours through it, and they pour on top of him. 3 tries in barely 7 minutes of game time, and the Cowboys are blitzing Melbourne.
Yeah, I think you can now understand the look of resignation on Craig Bellamy's face. I think he can see this coming. Hasn't changed. Tried 2 in the second half. That look again. And Drinkwater, after Eremia, comes flying up on Tom Dearden, and that opens up the space for Drinkwater to slide through after Townsend did a great job to hold the ball up. Look, he went through the space, so there's no hint of obstruction there. And the Cowboys score 3 very quick tries in this second half to make it a scoreline of 28-6 with a kick to come. A lot of people saying about the Storm, well, they don't lose 2 in a row, and very rarely do they lose 2 in a row. They lost 2 in a row last year in rounds 2 and 3, and then went on to win 19. Not a bad response.
The way they go about their business, though, is hurting them here tonight, because the penalties are 5-2 to the Cowboys and the set restarts are 4-0. That's 9-2 total, and the weight of pressure on the Melbourne Storm defensive line, especially on the edges. And so the Seve is out there, not normally playing in the centres. Of course, Remus Smith out of action for a number of weeks until about round sometime later in the season with that pec muscle injury, so he's not back anytime soon. And then
you've got George Jennings. You've got George Jennings missing as well. I think from the lack of attacking options that they had coming into the game, that they thought, well, the way to get the Cowboys is to slow them down. We can't allow the Cowboys to get on any sort of roll, but what the referee has done was ref the game and penalised them when they've tried to slow the Cowboys down.
Well, Holmes from close range makes this a 24-point lead. A stunning scoreline off the back of a run of games in which the Cowboys keep racking up big scores. On track to make it 6 wins straight. Remembering the first of those string of wins was against the Raiders down there in Canberra. They were down 12 points to nil at half-time and came back to win that one 18-12. They've scored 30 points in 4 straight games against the Titans, the Eels, the Knights, the Tigers, and now the Melbourne Storm.
And it's happened so quickly in this second half. The score was 12-6 when they ran out after the break. It was 12-6, that's all it was. 18 points in the matter of 13 minutes for this Cowboys side.
5th straight game for the Cowboys in which they've scored 30 points plus. Here is Helam Lukey. Last year, their average score per game, 19 points a game. They were 12th in attack, and as we know, they're giving up 31 a game defensively to be 16th out of 16. Cotter to play it here. From Robson, it comes back to Gilbert. Munster with one tackle there, almost an Alan Langer style Cumberland throw, if you like, as Neem goes up towards the halfway line. Last play for the Cowboys. Robson looking for Townsend. No pressure on his kicking game tonight. That's been a factor as well. Haven't been able to get to him and see if they could try and rattle him early in the game. He's had all the time in the world to get kicks away, and then here they are, making sure that Meany, the kick returns. He's stopped inside his own 20, and this man's had a tough second half. Dean Aramea getting a good stop there by Nanai. As I look forward through Chris Lewis. 3 plays gone, they've barely picked up 10 metres.
Look at that, 10 from 10, 2 from 3, the Melbourne Storm, no ball. Well, the Cowboys have just been running in tries and then returning it from kickoffs. Repeat set in there, a number of set restarts as Kamikamitha drops the ball. Boy, oh boy.
Tyron, stand up!
Honestly, if you were betting in the run, you'd have the Cowboys at about $1.05 to score in this set. Gamble responsible. Greg Bellamy, his wallet's empty. He's looking for something in the get-out stakes in the last at Corinda. 30 metres out from the Storm line. Robson. To Townsend. Here is Dearden. The combination of the timing there with Helam Lukey. So he takes the tackle. Heads up play by the 5'8". Don't force it if it's not there. McLean takes it inside the 20. Comes towards Lewis. To Fusi. And can move it over the top as well. Goes across Robson to Townsend. Good grab. And Nanai just keeps scoring tries. It's the 4th try for the Cowboys in this second half. And we've had barely 15 minutes. Nanai has his 10th for the season.
He has got an uncanny ability to score a try from a kick, whether it's in the air or on the ground. Jeremiah Nanai is absolutely brilliant. That's a young player with so much talent. How he controlled that ball after colliding with the Melbourne Storm defender as he was taking it. Nick Meany was there, almost dislodged the footy, but Nanai was still able to control it and get it down for a try. Chad Townsend, another try assist from a kick, and that's all that's required from Townsend. You know, he's the missing piece of the puzzle, the part of the puzzle that the Cowboys didn't have. He doesn't have to be the attacking genius. He doesn't have to even run the ball that much. He has to talk his way around the game, keep his players confident, kick well, whether it's grubber, in the air, or for field position, and he's doing his job. You know, everyone wanted to say, well, gee, that's a lot of money for Chad Townsend, but for the Cowboys, he's worth the money.
Every cent.
He might be worth the money somewhere else, but he's worth the money for the Cowboys because they have so many attacking options. He doesn't have to worry about it. They've got a great dummy half. They've got Tom Dearden who runs the ball. They've got a ball-playing fullback. They've got speed on the edges. They've got talent on the edges. And they've got back rowers like Jeremiah Nanai.
It is remarkable. I know the Melbourne Storm are below full strength, but you can just see how much the Cowboys have grown from that game earlier in the season when they took on the Roosters up here after a a promising start to the year. They won a couple straight and got beaten 28 points to 4 by the Roosters. And you thought...
Outclassed. They were outclassed on the night.
They looked a level or two below those teams who'll battle for the Premiership in 2022. But they have turned it right around. They're on track for 6 straight here. And a bit of redemption after some big scorelines they've given up against the Melbourne Storm in a run of 12 straight losses against them, Brent Tate.
Yeah, well, it has been a rich vein of form for the Cowboys, and just bang, 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 4 tries. They've got attacking weapons everywhere, as you said. Brandy, last year, Scott Drinkwater was the only attacking option the Cowboys had, but this year you got this man, Nanai, who scored 10 tries. Peter Hicku's really added to this Cowboys lineup. Scott Drinkwater in great form. And you mentioned the Chad Townsend, just the influence he's had on this group and on Tommy Deard, and it's been incredible. And he's full credit to him. He's been just an absolute gem of a find for the Cowboys.
I guess, you know, he went to the Warriors last year, and off the back of what he showed at the Warriors, thought, what have the Cowboys got here?
Sure.
Really?
Admittedly, he got hurt.
It is the piece of the puzzle, you know, and he fills it in.
Went to the Warriors, of course, and he was injured straight away and then battled through a couple of games with a shoulder injury, but looked well below par, and you thought, well, interesting call by the Cowboys, but he has proven the critics wrong just game after game.
Well, Todd Payten's done that on a number of things, hasn't he? Everyone questioned Todd Payten at the start of last year, what he was doing, but he's answered everyone at the moment.
They said he was off with Jason Taulagi. Taulagi wanted out of the club. He was looking around. There was rumours that he wasn't going to see out the season. His manager was looking elsewhere to see if someone could fit Jason Taulagi and his $1 million a year under the cap. And of course, he signed here in North Queensland until the end of 2027. Boy, that's clever from Meaney. He might have got taken high there by the sugar glider himself in Murray Taulagi, but he was in backwards motion. It was like somebody stopped the tape and was rolling it backwards for a moment there for Nick Meaney.
Yeah, very hard to go quick backwards in that sort of situation. Just got to the ball before the chase arrived. He's been put on report, Taulagi. I don't know if there was much force in it.
On the line, guys, wait for the kick.
It's blown off the park. Melbourne, like just absolutely blowing off the park.
And there's 21 minutes remaining.
Not even halfway through the second stanza.
I mean, 50 is not out of the realms of possibility if Melbourne can't find a bit of starch for the remaining quarter of this game, and that would be embarrassing. Here's Munster at the line. Wishart turning it back underneath for Kafusi, the sole try scorer for the Melbourne Storm in this game. We've had the best part of an hour. Smith taking on Robson. Good stop there on him as well. Some help from Hess. He plays it for Grant. Munster. Kamakamita puts it down again. He can't find the handle in this second half. And it's the Cowboys who've barely had to work it away from inside their own territory other than restarts off kickoffs.
Well, Melbourne haven't got through, I think they've got through 3 sets in this second half. That's it.
Guys on that clock, let's go.
Craig is lost for words. We don't see that very often. Speaking of Origin, as we have done, the build-up is on, no doubt about that, of course. Game 1 is just around the corner. Tickets are selling fast for this year's Ampol State of Origin Series. Go to NRL.com/tickets to secure your seat. Tickets available for just $49. Nice value to see an Origin game between the Blues and the Maroons. Fascinating series coming up, Brandy. You're integral to New South Wales camp quite obviously, but the Blues are falling like flies as far as injuries are concerned. Queensland, in the main, they're jumping out of their skins. Incredible to see how it plays out this year. Warren Smith, Greg Alexander and Brent Tate giving you all the action of this one. There's a bit to talk about. Melbourne on track for a second consecutive loss against a fellow top 4 team. Admittedly, again, without Pappenhausen and Hughes, sure, but boy, they are leaking points alarmingly at the moment. McLean to play it. Robson from dummy half goes to Townsend. Here is Dearden out the back. Drinkwater with him. Gets to the edge where Lukey takes him stopping. Sevi under Huge pressure there. They'll play it just outside the 10. Last play. Could have been a set restart there again. Drinkwater floats a kick. Munster knocks it on. It came to Cotter. Knock-ons both ways. And the Cowboys hang on to it.
Yeah, they'll get it. It was Cameron Munster that got to the ball first.
Cameron Munster is challenging, saying I didn't touch it.
Hey, we've got tackle 6. Got a double knock on, first off Cowboys, then off Melbourne.
First off Cowboys.
Yeah, mate. Sorry, no, Cowboys challenging.
Okay, looks.
I thought Munster got to the ball first.
Yes.
Yep.
But Jeremiah Nanai was thereabouts, and he might have had a...
Kick chase of Cowboys is cleared as onside.
Might have had a hand in there.
It was Nanai they were kicking to again. Why wouldn't you, given what he can do in the air? Oh,
yes,
Cohen Hess it was, not Nanai. Hess.
The right hand of Cohen Hess knocks the ball on into Cameron Munster.
Hess,
The challenge is unsuccessful.
Okay, no more challenges. We've got a hand over to Melbourne.
In the first half, remember?
Out here.
Knocked it back, which led to the repeat set, which led to their first try.
He's done it a couple of times this year. He's a handy target as well in the air, as big as he is. And Cameron Munster.
Another challenge, right, for Cameron Munster.
Time's off still. No more challenges, Cowboys.
Work it away from their own 10. And the second half has been all one-way traffic as far as the Cowboys and point scoring is concerned. Quiet night, though, for Cameron Munster. That could be a concern for Craig Bellamy, given the leadership he's missing, quite obviously in Jerome Hughes and the halves in particular. Munster's been happy in the main to kick. Plenty of field position in that first half as well.
Yeah, they dominated territory and possession in that first half.
2 carries of the ball for just 12 metres to this point. Chance here as Smith goes out the back. Shuffles it on to Kenny Bromwich.
Well, if he's a little quiet, it's the first time this year.
Yes, he's been outstanding.
Yeah.
Here's Smith. Takes it across the halfway line. Just the warm Townsville air, not to his liking. Cameron Munster, out down the short side. Flat pass there, more than flat. Forward to Kenny Bromwich. They've just been a little bit off in all manner of ways. Harry Grant appealing to the referee, saying there was something there not to his liking. Grant Atkins says, Harry.
That was forward, and that was forward. There was 2 forwards.
And to compound the error, a bit of dissent here from the Melbourne Storm, and Grant Atkins says that'll be a penalty. His patience being tested once again. Cowboys will find the line. Deep kick by any stretch by Chad Townsend. But here they come. 36 points to the good already. Still 17 minutes remaining. And the Roosters live up against the Panthers. A beauty to round out a very interesting Super Saturday so far. It began at Cogra, of course.
With a thriller.
Absolutely. The Warriors and the Dragons there. Very wet playing surface, given all the rain in Sydney. Just keeps raining between Brisbane and Sydney. No sign of it stopping in either city.
Picked up
like
Val Holmes.
Great hands. Holmes. He's 40 metres out. He'll play it here. In the dummy half. Comes to McLean. Boy, there was Brandon Smith just launching himself at Jordan McLean. Taking the ground eventually by Seve underneath. Goes from Robson. Townsend back on the inside. Cotter bouncing away from the Lewis attempted tackle. Did well, Chris Lewis. And now Drinkwater down the short side to Holmes back on the inside. Gets to go again.
Late tackle here. Felice, this is unnecessarily late.
And Felice Kafusi. Late contact here as it came out the left-hand side. Was it on Tom Dearden, perhaps?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was watching the ball. I didn't see what had happened after the ball was passed. Val Holmes put a bit of footwork on, and it was on Drinkwater. Not a whole lot of force, but late.
Not much happening there, but penalty says Grant Atkins. McLean, not far from the Melbourne line once more. Townsend, little look inside, comes out to Ruben Cotter. Takes some stopping here for Munster. He keeps thrashing and tearing. Not conceding in the tackle at any stage. Robson, short ball, Hess! He bounces onto the line, stopped by Harry Grant. but Hess bounced his way in, and Grant Atkins says no double movement. The bunker can take a look. Try number 5 for the Cowboys in this second.
Yeah, a little set play there with Cohen Hess in mind. Big body, powerful, getting over the top of Harry Grant. Grant made a good legs tackle. Was there any sort of movement from the arm carrying the ball? Yes, there was. But was it enough? Did he bounce over?
Ball ends up
Tucked up under his chest.
He hits the ground initially with the ball under his pec, and then the ball on the line is more on the point of his shoulder. We'll wait and see what the bunker makes of this.
There was a little bit of movement
Just
from his
a bit,
arm.
yes.
But momentum was still going.
He did have momentum. If the ball ends up under his pec where it first bounced on the turf, you'd say no problem absolutely at all, but
the arm movement might be subtle enough or not.
It's under review for
yes.
movement.
I wouldn't be unhappy if they say no try here, because it is
live. I thought
it's only slight. There's an advancement of the ball. Where the ball makes contact initially is all important. Here it is.
When the ball is grounded, the
on
tackle
his
is
chest.
complete here with Melbourne Storm players still attached. The ball is under his chest,
And then
He moves.
and the
advances
ball
it
is
to the
then
point of his
promoted from
shoulder.
under his chest to reach the goal line. We have a decision.
As I was saying before we saw the replay, had
Well
he,
described.
Had he ended up
Was well described.
with the ball under his chest,
Yeah,
that
there
would
was
have been no trouble.
just subtle, but enough. Yeah.
So it stays.
Here's real time. Here's as it happened. Understandably why the referee gave it a try, but there's a promotion.
There is. That's all it took. So Cohen Hess can't join the hit parade tonight. Obviously, Jeremiah, Nanai,
Just got to get
and
the time
Franks.
reset that was lost for the kick. Not
So
that.
we'll wind the clock back, as we do, of course, in the situation. The NRL's become the NFL. This way, they'll wind the clock back when the situation happens.
Just got to reset the clock.
Maybe so many seconds added to the clock. We need 40.
No, that's
Melbourne don't want 40. They don't want 40 more minutes in this second half, trust me. Neither does Craig Bellamy. Craig might just walk out.
Hold ya.
See Craig come to the sideline. His good mate Ricky Stewart. That'd be entertaining. He finds himself high to the coach's box for good reason.
I don't think the sideline's ready for Craig.
We're ready for Craig. Press red for Craig. That's what we all want. Full access. 80 minutes of Craig in the corner of the screen. I'd love to see it. Josh King will play it here. Play a massive premium for audio from the coach's box as well. That's what we're really after. Grant from dummy half. Runs out to link up there with Munster, who just can't get a chance to use his own skill tonight, his own power in particular. Lewis moves away to Wishart. Stopped there by Drinkwater up in the front line. Is there a reshuffle here for the Cowboys? Tabuai Fidow maybe playing a little bit of fullback the back end of the game. Munster puts it high in the air. Drinkwater is back there now, flying high. Holmes was there as he tackled in mid-air.
Cowboys.
Knock on against the Cowboys, and of course they lost their challenge not that long ago.
Yeah, no, I think his feet were back on the ground when he was hit by the Melbourne Storm defender.
Yep.
Just. It's okay.
Come in, scrum. Knock on. Let's get our numbers here, please. Get our numbers.
Melbourne will get a chance here.
10 seconds.
Their score on just 6 points. The Matty Johns podcast every week, of course. Matty Johns, Cooper Cronk, two of the best brains in rugby league, dissecting the big moments from the game. Comes out Tuesday, of course, 7:30 p.m. NRL 360. Following NRL 360 as they go from the scrum. Melbourne, Wishart taking on Drinkwater. Yes, they'll be talking about Melbourne on the podcast this week. What's happening with them at the moment? King puts it down on just play 2. Counter-attack. Dearden through Drinkwater, finds Holmes. Look at this from the Cowboys. Holmes stays alive with it. Taken down eventually by Smith.
Very quickly, they shift it left and make plenty of metres, the Cowboys, to get themselves out of trouble.
So far in this second half, Cowboys have had 16 sets. They've completed 15. Melbourne Storm are 4 from 7. 7 total sets. And here we are. Now make it 4 from 8, of course, with the mistake we just saw. Incredible. Now Connor. See if they can crack the 40-point barrier here. The Cowboys, it's been 8 long seasons since Melbourne conceded 40 points in a game. The Bulldogs did that to them over in Perth back in 2014. Here's Robson, came back to the middle. Dear, that pass was forward.
Just didn't turn his body enough. Reece Robson there. Saw Tom Dearden back on the inside. Very easy with an inside pass to throw it forward. You've got to twist your body more than that. The Cowboys were staring down 13 straight losses to the Melbourne Storm coming into this game.
Nobody, quite obviously, beats the Cowboys 13 times straight. They were determined to win it here
We're
tonight.
going to let that happen.
The old Vitas Gerolaitis line.
Hold! Hold! Hold!
Beaten, I think it was 23 times in a row by an opponent. He said nobody beats Vitas Gerolaitis 24 times in a row. Here's Seve. Now Kafusi will work it forward. Move it up towards the 40. Plays it here for Harry Grant. Munster, the king. He hangs on to this one. Melbourne Storm next week are back at home. They'll take on the Seagulls. Then they have the bye. I dare say the bye coming just the right time for them as well. Oh, here's a play. It's the sugar glider. The hangman. He's away again. Murray Taulagi. He slides across. Does he bring up the 40-point mark tonight for the Cowboys? It looks to be the case. Grant Atkins says yes.
How did Murray Taulagi come up with the ball in that situation? How did he keep control of it? Val Holmes jammed in nice and hard. The pass was quick. He almost just took it out of Seve's hands at speed. He hits Barry and Seve at speed, but somehow ends up with the ball. That is an incredible play. I think he gets it down. Xavier Coates over the top. Oh, I don't know. I don't think he has. Well, that will be the save of the century from Xavier Coates. I don't think he's got it down.
From behind, couldn't see a touch initially.
No.
Arm there of Coates underneath the ball, and he rolls him over.
That's no try. He has not got that down.
Incredible.
It won't have much impact on the result of the game, but that is one hell of a save there from Xavier Coates. And he's not a little man, Murray Taulagi. Got his arm right under the football there, and
you know who's also not a little man is this man.
No, he's
Xavier Coates, staying in the same hotel as us last week in Brisbane at Magic Round. I remember seeing him when he played for Papua New Guinea before he played in the NRL with the Brisbane Broncos. And at that stage he was a tall, rangy teenager. Played a mid-season test for Papua New Guinea at Leichhardt Oval.
Mate, can we just review the held up?
Close. He wasn't that intimidating. Certainly had the height, but he wasn't a massive frame. Boy, when I walked past him last week at the team hotel,
we're just seeing if
it was
Murray
like
grounds the
walking
ball.
past Jordan McLean. He's taller than Jesse Bromwich. He's a huge, huge winger.
And he's done
From
a
this
job
angle,
to
the
stop
ball
this
is
try
always
too.
up.
I dare say, from the time he made his debut, he's added some 8 kilos to his frame.
He has, yeah, and that's the part of his game where he's improved. He's just got more confidence on his carries, bringing the ball out of trouble.
After reviewing all angles, the ball is held up by Xavier Coates. We
Yeah, no
have a
try.
decision.
That was That was obvious a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was no try. That was a couple of minutes ago. You've just told the life story of Xavier Coates. We're still looking at it.
Tell that. No.
We get the no try eventually.
He ordered it before he took it. So it's play the ball, Murray. You tackle one,
Use
you
the
held
red
out.
book and get Mike Munro to do This Is Your
Marcus,
Life
can you move up?
for
On the
Xavier
line,
Coates by
please.
the time we get the no try call.
Just wait. I'll just reset that clock again.
Look at that, his aunties, his uncles.
Just wait.
Somebody walked past him on the street one day.
It's a full set, though.
Yes, it is.
Time on.
So the sugar glider denied. Mission Impossible man, Townsend, comes across to Gilbert. They're $1.05 again here, though, to score. Kenny Bryant hanging onto the ball. They'll do anything to try and slow things down, Melbourne. Townsend, Dearden, out the back, Drinkwater, here they come. Holmes this time, he can't put it down. Taulagi stayed on the outside there. Holmes was going for the corner, and it looked like the ball went into touch. So.
Yeah, they're all headed towards the corner post, and I think Scott Drinkwater, we're just going to see what happened
No
here.
try, mate. Just review the corner here.
No try, obvious, but
Let's hope this one takes a little bit shorter.
Yeah, I think Scott Drinkwater had in his mind, he thought he should have dummied. You could just see the reluctance to pass the ball to Val Holmes because of the angle he was running.
Hang on, G. Does he hit the corner post or hit his knee from a bloke who's jumped from out?
The ball hits the corner post.
I think it does, yes.
I think Taulagi's jumped from out and might hit him.
Valentine Holmes loses possession. We're just looking to see if he's into touch first or whether the ball hits corner post.
Drinkwater, I think, after he passed the ball there, realised that he was probably one that should have thrown the dummy and just gone himself. He might have gone closer than Val Holmes in the end did. Right?
Maybe the point of the knee.
Hits the knee.
The ball is knocked on in the field of play by Valentine Holmes. We have a decision.
G, does it then go into touch?
So let's roll this along. Still 10 minutes remaining.
Okay. Play the ball.
And the Roosters and the Panthers warming up as
no
we
try.
speak. At the Sydney Cricket Ground, you'll see it live right here exclusively
play the ball.
on Fox League.
Where do you want to play the ball?
Just a couple of times in quick succession.
Jackson offside, mate.
I thought
Cohen
the
Hess.
Roosters' performance against Parramatta was their best of the season as well.
Play the ball because it goes into
Without
touch.
doubt, playing another team that was in the top 8.
They were impressive last week. That'll be a beauty against the Panthers, who are quite obviously the benchmark again in 2022, as they were last season. They took out the Premiership. And while we're speaking of Penrith, the test continues for the Cowboys because that's who they've got next week. And they're in Penrith. Cowboys against the Panthers. What a blockbuster that's going to be out there at the foot of the Mountains branding.
Yeah, next Friday night at 6 o'clock.
They put Parramatta away in Darwin. They're doing the same thing here to the Storm in Townsville. And then they take on Penrith next week. Cowboys just keep proving that they are the real deal this season. Wishart to put it in the air. Some pressure here coming across. Drinkwater will leave it bounce. So did Holmes. Will come to Nanai. Trouble here. Given his athleticism. Spun away from Grant. Oh, and Chris Lewis has ripped it out after the event. He was tackled 3 minutes ago. And then Lewis just ripped it out.
Well, they let that one bounce. Again, I don't know if it's a great tactic. Scott Drinkwater thought one of the wingers, Murray Taulagi, was awfully close to the ball there. Probably should have had a go at it. They got the result with the bounce favouring Nanai.
Almost impossible to find fault in the Cowboys' performance here this evening. There have been a few bounces at the back. There's a bit of a mix-up on that occasion. Nothing more. Nanai playing. Through the hands of Dearden, Cotter, Townsend. A shift here. Drinkwater. Some numbers on that right edge. WI Fido kicks for himself. Tried to kick again. I think he missed it. Came to Meany anyway. He hands it off for Cameron Munster. And now they're saying knock on against Melbourne. I would challenge this.
Sorting it.
Short of a bit of advice, Cameron Munster for the referee here.
Hey, mate.
Well, the shift wide.
I've already knocked on off Cameron Munster. It's captain's challenge that dispute and he didn't knock it on.
I didn't think he knocked it on either.
I didn't think he knocked it on in the first
Your
instance.
response is
I think
unacceptable.
Tabuai Fido might have had a fresh air shot on the kick.
It's a kick from
got it.
Hamiso Tabufido.
It's not a good one.
The ball is knocked backwards from Nick Meaney, playing on at this point.
Yeah. They had that Melbourne Storm defence line going. They were backpedaling at a rate of knots. Meaney picks it up and then just flicks one out.
Still playing on at this point.
He's tackled. And Munster doesn't touch it. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. And then just picks up the loose ball.
Just looking to determine if Cameron Munster knocks the ball on.
Boy, it's like an NBA game.
The way we're going here, the Roosters and Panthers will be playing at midnight.
There is no touch from Cameron Munster, and the tackle is complete.
It is like an NBA game where the last 2 minutes takes about 30 to play. That's been the case here. We've had a couple of games like that so far this weekend. Last one between the Bulldogs and the Tigers. Forever.
Let's go.
It did.
Hold.
So Munster plays it. Justin Olive, and well contained tonight. In this second half, the Melbourne Storm have had one play the ball inside the 20-metre zone. Inside their attacking red zone, they've had one play the ball.
It has been as dominant a second half or any half we've had this year. The Cowboys scoring 5 tries, banging them in pretty quick succession.
Munster from inside the 40 on another forward pass. Been plagued by them tonight, Melbourne.
Play the ball here.
First one was thrown by the Cowboys very early in the match after they scored their first try. They turned the ball back over, but the next 3, and I'm sure there's been 3, have been all the Melbourne Storm.
Back here, Justin.
And there was a costly one just before half-time. They had a full set. There was a pass out of dummy half that went forward, which robbed them of a chance of squaring things up. Kyle Felt with a brace on. That's, gee, I hope it's not an ACL. Medial he could live with, which would see him back this year.
Jason Taumalolo also missing the majority of this game. Came from the field, about 15 left in the first half. And here they are without both he and Felt leading by 30. Cotter for Dearden. Gilbert on his outside. Nanai's there again. Another forward pass call here as well. As it came to the left-hand side. Didn't see it, got to say, in running. Take a look here again. First few are okay. Dearden at the line. That one there ruled to have been forward.
He was right on the line there. He threw it in front of the line.
Sometimes though with the touch judge stationary, gives you that false impression the ball's gone forward.
That red line.
Anyway.
By the way, in you go, straight in.
Half remaining on the
in
clock.
You go. Clock off.
Wind our way down to full time.
Hold. Break.
And the SCG will be our next destination right here on Super Saturday. Roosters and the Panthers. Following this one, so much to talk about coming out of this between the Cowboys and the Storm. And most of it, well, the Cowboys have been terrific again. I dare say, the talk off the back of this will be about the Melbourne Storm and just where they're at.
Well, it was a 32-6 loss last week to the Panthers. Tonight they've only scored 1 try, as they did at Suncorp Stadium, Magic Round, and given up 30-plus points.
Wishart looking to his left-hand side. Just haven't looked in rhythm at all. Again, towards Munster, and he hangs onto the ball. He saw outside to his liking, Tyron Wishart. Drinkwater makes a good catch here. He's a good catcher of the ball, so it's interesting tonight to see him let a couple bounce. Here's another shift. Boy, Hiku gets rattled there, and a good stop. Coming up, Liero was there, so was Lewis, and Lewis gets tangled up. They just cut it all night. And to Grant Atkins' credit, he hasn't dropped off on the penalties. He's kept marching them every time they've transgressed. And they're the masters, Melbourne, at slowing things down artificially with situations like that, where a leg gets caught up in a man carrying the ball, and Craig Bellamy might be a wry smile on his face, maybe saying, yep, they got us tonight.
I'm sure. I don't know whether it's a wry smile. I don't know what it is from Craig, but he'll be disappointed with what he's seen. And you mentioned Grant Atkins, the referee, and a lot of times, you see referees make statements early in the game, but then they drop off, they forget about what goes on and play the ball. He hasn't tonight.
Luke, little juggle. Oh, he lost the ball there, I thought, in Josh King's tackle, and yes, called as such by Grant Atkins.
What do you want to scrum, mate?
Boy, this one really grinding to a finish here. And after all the action beginning in the early part of the second half, we had 4 straight tries, and then no tries to Cohen Hess. Murray Taulagi denied also by Xavier Coates.
20 seconds, let's make it.
There's Taulagi back on the bench. With the ice on his knee. Likewise, Jordan McLean's all good. Couple of knees tonight, the Cowboys. I think those last 2 are just precautionary. So that is the case. With those 2 off the field, they're down to the bare 13 for the remainder of this game. With Kyle Feld, of course, out of action. Likewise, Jason Taumalolo. He's got 2.5 to go, though, so I think they'll be okay. Hero playing it. See to McDonald. It's a good gain here. We're going to have a bit more of that tonight, Melbourne.
Yeah, and look, it's been a great victory. Terrific. Melbourne Storm, it was the challenge we said that the Cowboys were facing. You don't want it to be soured by some serious injuries to a couple of their players.
Grant out of dummy half. Here, Grubbers, nobody chasing through. Drinkwater hoping it was going to go dead. He finds Tom Dearden. One-on-one here. Dearden makes it back into the field of play, or no. The referee says he came down on top of the line. Forced it in goal as a result. So Melbourne will get the last crack. And we'll see what they can offer in attack. So far, apart from the one nice play where Kafusi scored back before half-time,
Stay back.
they haven't really had a scoring chance to speak of in this second half. Eremia goes up above them to make the catch. It's on from dummy half. Munster shovels it on here for Willis to work it down towards the 10. There's a bit of depth on this right-hand side. Grant for Munster. Flat comes out the back for Wishart. Meany. First man option was there. Seve will be held up and then pushed back into the field of play. Crowd will find its voice as we go inside the final 60 seconds. It's Munster. We'll go to Kenny Bromwich to kick in. Hiku gets back there and cleans it up. And I think the Cowboys going back there, you could see a couple of the players, Cohen Hess, waving to the crowd saying, come on, people, make some noise for this performance tonight. And they are worthy of a standing ovation there. This full house tonight at Queensland Country Bank Stadium.
Yeah, it's been a great night, hasn't it, in Townsville. Sellout crowd, great performance from the Cowboys. Makes it their 6th win in a row.
So it's Drinkwater who takes a run. It was tight at half-time. It's been all the Cowboys in the second half. 4 unanswered tries, and they've broken the streak against the Melbourne Storm. They've lost 12 straight. It won't reach 13 because at full time here tonight, what a performance. They've made it 6 wins on the trot themselves in season 2022. The Cowboys 36, the Storm 6. Terrific effort from them.